If you're looking to buy a home in Los Angeles, there are a few very common mistakes that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 most common mistakes I see LA first-time homebuyers make, and importantly, how to avoid them. Hi, my name is Dana Pieper. I am a real estate agent here in Los Angeles with Sotheby's International Realty. I love working with first-time home buyers, but your first time around the block buying a home leaves a lot of room for error. So let's get into the 5 mistakes I see most often. Mistake number 1, only talking to one lender. If you intend to finance, the absolute first step you should be taking as a buyer is getting pre-approved. I know it is really fun to scroll on Zillow, save homes, and imagine what your life could look like in them, but the truth is, you genuinely do not know what you can afford until you are pre-approved by a lender. The second part of this that a lot of buyers miss is that you should be talking to multiple lenders. National research by Freddie Mac shows that just getting a second quote often shaves about 0.1 to 0.2% off of your interest rate. On a $1 million home, which is common in Los Angeles, assuming a 30-year mortgage with 20% down, in today's interest rate environment, 0.1% less could save you $20,000 to $25,000 in interest over the term of the loan. That's definitely money I want to save. Now, you typically have about a 14-day window where you can shop lenders without multiple hard credit pulls counting against you. My advice, though, is to do it even tighter than that. Try to get all of your quotes on the same day. Interest rates change daily, and getting same-day quotes gives you a true apples-to-apples comparison. I also have a very in-depth guide on how to get pre-approved and how to shop lenders the right way. If you want it, click the link right here. It'll take you to my link tree, and you can just tap send me the guide to getting pre-approved. It'll walk you through the process and hopefully make it very clear all of the steps to take. All right, mistake number 2, waiting to save 20% down. Before I dive in here, I do want to note that I am not a financial advisor, and this should not be taken as financial advice. I definitely recommend you speak to a financial expert or a CPA before making any significant purchases like a home. I have a lot of buyers tell me they're waiting to buy because they want to save 20% down and avoid PMI. PMI, or private mortgage insurance, is an additional monthly cost that protects the lender when you put less than 20% down. The issue is, in a market like Los Angeles, where appreciation is generally pretty significant, waiting can cost you far more than PMI ever would. If you put 10% down instead of waiting for 20%, your PMI depends on a lot of factors, but let's estimate it around $375 a month. That's about $4,500 a year, and it's temporary. Once you reach a certain equity threshold in your home, you no longer have to pay PMI. Now, compare that to waiting 3 years to save the extra $100,000, let's say. If you're renting $4,000 a month, that's $144,000 in rent gone. And if home prices rise just 4% a year, that same house in Los Angeles could cost over $100,000 more by the time you buy. So you waited to avoid PMI, but you paid rent, you missed appreciation, and ended up buying a more expensive house anyway. I am not suggesting that you buy before you're ready, but I am saying run the numbers. Talk to a lender, talk to your financial advisor. Automatically assuming 20% down is the only way for you just might not be the case. Okay, mistake number 3, trusting the list price as market value. In Los Angeles, the list price of a home is almost always a marketing price, not necessarily what the home should or will sell for. Most homes fall into one of 3 categories. The first, underpriced to attract a ton of attention and multiple offers. Second, priced at fair market value to attract serious, qualified buyers, or third, overpriced with the hope that someone will see that value, or the expectation that the price will be negotiated down or reduced later if it's not attracting enough attention from buyers. If you are browsing Zillow on your own, do not assume that the price you see is where the home will sell. The underpricing strategy is really common in Los Angeles, by the way. If a home looks too good to be true for the price it is listed at, it probably is. They've likely underpriced the home to bring in as much attention as possible, as many offers as possible, and to put those offers into a bidding war. And usually these homes close well above asking. So understanding the list price is where your agent should be incredibly valuable. They should be able to tell you which of those three categories a home falls into and how that impacts your offer strategy. Okay, moving on to mistake number 4, over-filtering your Zillow search. A really common mistake, and one I do a lot of counseling on, is setting up the appropriate search parameters. Most buyers are concerned about missing something in their search for a home, and setting up your search appropriately is one of the easiest ways to avoid it. Your agent should be setting up searches for you, but again, if you're doing it yourself anyway, try not to overfilter. For example, you might be absolutely certain you need a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. 1 bedroom for you, 1 for guests, and 1 to use as an office. So you filter strictly for 3 bedrooms. But by doing that, you might miss a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home with a detached guest house or converted garage that would work perfectly as an office. And it is possibly a better property overall. I like to advise keeping your search broader than you think. Be flexible on bedroom count, bathroom count, and even square footage, and sometimes even price. Like I said, occasionally homes are overpriced, and you might be the perfect buyer for it, even if it appears over budget. I wouldn't go in with this expectation, but you might as well include some properties slightly above budget just in case they're flexible on price. Finally, mistake number 5, falling in love with finishes instead of the bones. This is one of the most common and most expensive mistakes. It is so easy to fall in love with new countertops, trendy tile, fresh paint, but pretty finishes don't mean nice finishes. There are very cheap materials and appliances that photograph beautifully, but will not last. And again, this is where your agent and your inspectors matter a lot. The difference between something that looks nice and something that actually is high quality is huge. And the second part of this is resale value. Now, listen, resale is not the most important part of buying a home. You want a space that works for you and your life and your needs, but you should be aware when a home has features that most buyers struggle with. Things like walking through one bedroom to get to another, bedrooms on the first floor and the kitchen is on the second, or there's no primary suite. Unconventional layouts can impact resale down the line. That doesn't mean don't buy it, it just means be aware that you're investing in something that isn't for everyone. All right, that about wraps it up. If you are looking to buy your first home in LA, the right strategy matters just as much as the right house. And avoiding these 5 mistakes can save you money, it can save you stress, and a lot of frustration. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and if you want that guide to getting pre-approved, grab it through the link in the description. As always, feel free to reach out if you want to talk about your specific situation. My name is Dana Pieper. I am with Sotheby's International Realty, and I will see you on the next one.